So let me give a brief introduction about this CyberArk. Okay. CyberArk generally it is called as a privileged access management tool. Why this CyberArk came into the market means like across the globe, a lot of attacks are happening. So due to this, the client are worried about their data. To manage their data, like security is very important. So currently, they worried like the security is not there for their systems. So that's why they want to adopt one of the security tool. So that's why CyberArk came into the market. Okay. So, CyberArk generally it is called as a PAM tool. PAM stands for the Privileged Access Management Tool. The goal of the PAM is like to protect the privileged account, okay, in all the servers. What do you mean by privileged account means? In organization, like the servers, our data will be resides inside the servers. You can call it as Windows servers, Linux servers, database servers, okay. So basically, if you want to log in into any target servers, generally we will use the credentials like username and password details, right? So if anyone have access to those target server with those credentials, definitely they can perform all the activities on the target server. Okay, they can manipulate the target server. They can create any suspicious activity on the target server. Okay, so that's why we are going to protect all these privileged account using the PAM in the market, like not only CyberArk, like a lot of PAM tools are available, like Psychotic, it is also called a Delinea Behind Trust. Okay, so the functionality is the same only, but features wise, maybe CyberArk is providing the more features, Delinea is providing the less features. So based on the client requirement, based on the client budgets, okay, they will adopt the tool and they will utilize that tool in their organizations. Okay, so if I generally like in IT industry, how the workflow will be there, like there will be three phases will be there. One is the development phase, second one is the testing phase, and third one is the production phase. Okay, in development phase, like a developers will develop the applications using the various technologies like Java, okay, there's some other tools, and they will develop the application. Once the application is developed, like it will move to the testing phase. Their testers will come into the picture, like testers will test the application using the various kind of testing tools, and also like they will do some unity testing, standard testing, regression testing. Okay, so in case if they found any bugs, like they will create a tickets to the developers. So developers are responsible for fixing those bugs. Okay, once the application is completely tested, like it will be moved to the production environment. In generally, in production environment, like a real end users will came into the picture, like they will use the applications. In case if they face any issues, like they will create tickets to the production support team. In production support team, like dedicated production team will be there, like they are responsible for resolving the end user issues that was facing on those applications. Okay, so generally in production environment, like there will be a dedicated production team will be there, like a Windows team will work on the Windows servers, Linux team will work on the Linux server. Okay, so every day they will log in into the servers with the credentials. Maybe it is a shared credentials or individual credentials. They will log in and they will perform their operations on the target server. Okay, so generally here the hackers are more focusing on stealing the client data. So for that they require the credentials. Okay, username and password details. So that's why they're trying to steal that username and password, and they are entering into the system and they're creating the inconvenience to the business. So that's why what we are doing, like we are onboarding all the uh, application servers, like Windows servers, Linux servers, database servers, okay, web application accounts, all these servers we are onboarding in the CyberArk, and we are allowing the end users to connect to the target servers inside of the CyberArk, okay, not from the outside of the CyberArk. So inside of the CyberArk, like we are providing the authorizations to the respective team, like Windows team to the Windows servers, Linux team to the Linux servers, like that. Okay, so once they log in into the target server, whatever the authorization they have provided to them, like they will click on the connect button and they will connect to their respective target server. Okay, so here whatever the activities they're performing by the end users on the target server, here the CyberArk will record all the activities, and also like if any suspicious activities are found on the target server, generally our CyberArk will terminate or suspend the sessions. Okay, and also like while logging into the target servers, end users no need to provide any username and password details. In the background, CyberArk only will automatically provide that credentials history. So just they have to log in into the CyberArk and they have to click on the connect button, So once they connected to the target server, they have to perform their duties on the target server, and they have to disconnect the session once the job gets completed. Okay, this is the workflow that we are building in the CyberArk environment. Okay, so let me give a brief introduction about the PAM and PAM features. Okay, so in the upcoming sessions, like we are going to discuss about the what are the overview of the basic PAM principles and common attacks. Okay, what are the common attacks that are happening across the globe? How the PAM is going to reduce that exposure. As I told, right, we are going to protect the privileged accounts on every server. So what are the types of privileged accounts? Okay, and what are the benefits of the PAM solution? What are the key features of the PAM solution? Okay, so you can see what you mean by privileged account. A privileged account is nothing but like an account that is created on the server, uh, which is having the read, write, execute permissions. So it is also called as the administrator account. Okay, so it is called a privileged account. So privileged account generally we are considering as the keys to kingdom. Okay, so these are the examples of the privileged account. For every Windows server, there is the administrator account will be there, and also like for every Unix server, there is the root account will be there, and also like for a databases, there is a system account. For network devices, it is called a enable account. Okay, for generally for Active Directory, it is called a domain administrator account. Okay, these are the privileged account. So we are going to product all the servers using this privileged account only. Okay, from the CyberArk. CyberArk not only protecting the privileged account, it will protect the non-privileged account also. Non-privileged account is nothing but like the account which is having a minimal permissions. It is also called as a read account. Okay. The difference between the privileged account and non-privileged account means if any account is having administrator permissions, then it is called a privileged account. If any account is having a non-administrator permissions, then we are considering it as non-privileged account. Okay. So you can see the privileged account exists everywhere in the organization in any project, like you will see this privileged account. Without using this privileged account, you cannot go forward. Okay. Suppose if you want to access any databases, applications, scripts, okay, generally we will use the privileged account. So this is the diagrammatical representation where this privileged account exists. Like as I told that these privileged accounts are exist on the Windows servers, databases, third parties, service providers, and also application accounts. So what are the types of privileged accounts that are supported by the PAM solution? So these are the some of the privileged accounts. Okay. First one is the local administrator account. Local administrator is account is nothing but like an account that is created on the Windows server, where we are giving the administrator permissions. So if anyone have access to if anyone is having the administrator permissions where they can enter into that target system and they can perform like installation of the programs, uninstallation of the programs. Every Windows server will have some security policies. They can modify or create the security settings and policies, etc. Okay. Second one is the domain administrator account. Actually, domain administrator account is related to the Active Directory account. It is also similar to local administrator account only, but in the Active Directory, this account is created on Active Directory with the domain administrator permissions. Okay, so if anyone have access to the Active Directory with this account, where they can create some policies, domain policies, and also they can manage the organizational units, servers, etc. Okay, so it is very important to protect this domain administrator account because if this domain administrator account gets compromised, not only domain administrator account will be creating impact to our Active Directory, it is also going to create the impact to the domain joined machines also. Okay. And the third one is like the service accounts. What do you mean by service accounts means generally some applications will run on the services. Okay. If you stop that services, definitely the application will go down and the users who depend upon that application, like it will be creating an impact to them and they won't be able to log in into that application. So hackers are trying to stop these services, okay, and they're trying to enter into the application and they're decrypting the data. For that only, like we can manage the service accounts also from the CyberArk without without creating any impact to the application. Okay. So generally the service accounts are considered like the scheduled task, bash scripts, IAS, application pools, etc. Okay. And fourth one is like application accounts. What I mean by application accounts means like you can say Notepad is an application, Notepad plus plus is an application. So generally few organizations, okay, what they're doing, like in case if they want to connect to the any REST API scripts, if they want to connect to the any databases, generally those credentials they are storing in some notepad plus files. Okay, it is not a safe to store those credentials, because if someone have access to that notepad, definitely they will get the username and password details, and they can log in into that specific database or REST API, and they can perform whatever they want to do. Okay, for that only, we can manage this application accounts also from the CyberArk. Whenever the application team require a password and username details, generally we can safely provide that username and password to the application team, and using that username and password details, they can connect to that respective databases and REST APIs. Okay. And next one is like a domain accounts. What do you mean by domain account means, like this account is created on the Active Directory, but we are not going to provide any administrator permissions. Just this account will have the only read permission. But even though it is having the read permissions, it can able to manage some of the resources that are present on the Active Directory. Okay. Shared accounts. What do you mean by shared accounts means? So generally in shared accounts are nothing but like by using one account, you can connect to the multiple target servers. Okay. So we can manage this shared accounts also from the CyberArk by configuring the one of the policy called check-in checkout policy. So we will see this shared account use case when we jump into the practical sessions. Okay. And the last one, but one is like a local account. Local account and local administrator account both are similar only, but here we are giving the administrator permissions. Here just we are giving only read permissions. Okay. Last one is the emergency or break glass accounts. Okay. The name itself saying like emergency. These are all privileges account. Okay. Uh, During the disaster recovery scenarios, maybe if the server is down, maybe the CyberArk is down. Okay. At that time, end users won't be able to connect to their target servers. Okay. At that time, what we are going to do, like by using these break glass accounts, we can connect to the target servers. Okay. It will come into the picture only during the disaster recovery scenarios. Yeah. Actually, in IT organization, like there will be two environments will be there. One is the on-premise and cloud. Generally, as I told right before onboarding any servers, okay, Windows servers or Linux servers or database servers in our CyberArk, first we have to build the CyberArk environment. We can build the CyberArk environment in two phases. One is the on-premise environment, and second one is the cloud environment. Okay. So generally, we are going to build all the CyberArk environment in the virtual machines, VMware machines, and after that we are going to install the operating system. So CyberArk recommendation is like we can install the any operating system starting from 2012 to latest version 22 OS. Okay. Actually, this installing the VMware machine, installing the operating system will be done by the Windows team. After that, it will be moved to the firewall team. Firewall team are responsible for configuring the IP address and configuring the firewall rules. Okay. So these are all called prerequisites. Okay. Once all the prerequisites are completed, generally this Windows team will hand over the server address, username and password details to us. After that, we have to install the CyberArk components, okay, in the on-premise environment. Okay. And the second one is the cloud environment. The advantage of the cloud environment is we no need to wait for the prerequisites to be completed from the Windows team and firewall team. Generally, we are going to deploy our CyberArk components in a cloud hosted servers. Okay. In cloud hosted servers, whichever the prerequisite that I have discussed, by default, it will come as the default. Okay. So we can save some time here, so that where we can directly install the CyberArk components. Okay. And another main difference between the on-premise and the cloud environment is on-premise environment, we have the complete access to the CyberArk environment. But coming to the cloud environment means we have a only less access to the CyberArk environment. Okay. So generally, if you do not have any access to any CyberArk component, and in case if we face any issues related to that CyberArk component, we will approach the CyberArk vendor. CyberArk vendor are responsible for resolving the issues. Okay. So these are the two environments. Yeah. And the next one is like challenges and threats. Okay. What are the challenges and threats that was facing by the organizations to maintain this privileged account? In case if the CyberArk is not there, okay, we will discuss. So generally, most of these servers are exposing to this attacks. Okay, CyberArk attacks. Okay. First one is the malware attack. Malware is nothing but like hacker will send some unrecognized application to your Windows or Linux server. In case if that application gets installed on your Windows or Linux server, definitely it will scan all the details that are present on the target server, and it will scan the details, and also like it will expose the client data to the outside. Okay, this is the one of the attack. And the second one is like a phishing attack. Phishing attack is nothing but like hackers will send some unknown links to the mobile end user mobile phones. If unfortunately if they click on the specific links, their personal data gets compromised. The personal data like the bank data, etc. Okay, not only personal data, here the professional data also gets compromised, because we can use the CyberArk not only the workstation or mobiles or PCs. Sorry, the workstation PCs we can use in mobile phones also. If you are frequently using the CyberArk in your mobile phones, definitely your data will be there in the cache, right? So that is also like one type of the risk. Okay. Third one is the man in the middle attacks. So generally it's happening because of the using of the unknown public Wi-Fi. Okay. If you want to open any web application, generally you will open your browser. After that you will put a URL and it will hit to the web application, right? But due to using of unknown public Wi-Fi or unsecured networks, definitely when you open any browser, like instead of going to the target web application, first it will go to the hacker to the web browser, and it will hit to the target application. So whatever the data you are browsing, like it will be automatically scanned in the background. Okay. And the fourth one is the distribution of the denial of the service attacks. It's nothing but like when you are using any unknown network, unsafe browser, definitely you will get some advertisements, right? When you are opening any, when you are accessing any web application, you will get some pop-ups, advertisements. Okay, it means like the browser is not at all secure. Okay, so when you click on unfortunately any advertisement, definitely there is a chance like you will caught out. Okay, so that's why this is the one of the attack. And last one is like SQL injection. In IT industry, like every application will have the database. Okay, so in case if your database permissions is not set properly, hackers can write some queries, and they can enter into the system, and they can steal your database data. Okay, these are the types of attacks that are happening across the globe. To avoid these attacks, okay, not only these attacks, okay, additionally there are the two types of attacks are there. One is the internal attacks, and the second one is the external attacks. Internal attacks is nothing but like it's happening because of the insider employees. Because insider employees, they know where the servers are hosted. Okay, they know the architecture, where they can enter into the system with the credentials. If they have an intention to steal the data, they can decrypt the data by sending some malwares. External data means, as I told, right, hackers will send some unknown softwares. Once it gets downloaded, the client data will be compromised. You actually across the globe, 80% of the security breaches are happening because of the compromise of the previous account. Okay, here the previous account we are considering as the lock. Okay, if anyone have key to your lock, definitely they can easily enter into your house or room, like they can see all the data. Okay, this is the diagramical representation. Okay, how the internal and external attacks are happening. We can see internal attacker is sitting inside the organization. It is the server hosted area. Okay, he can directly enter into the system, and they can do the attacks. External attacker is sitting outside, where he can indirectly attack on the target servers. Okay. You can see this is the internal attacks and external attacks, where they are entering into the target server, and they creating the inconvenience to the business. Okay. And not only this one, some of the major reasons that are happening because of the compromise of the credentials. This is happening because of our mistakes only. The first one is like in every organization, like generally in the production support team, they will log in into the multiple target servers every day. In case if every target server is having the different username and different password, so it's a very difficult for them to remember each and every username and password. So that's why what they're doing, like they're maintaining their credentials in one kind of Excel, and they're putting that Excel in some cloud or something like that. Okay, so if anyone have access to that Excel sheet, so their job is done. Okay, they can perform whatever they want. And the second one is like using of the hard coded credentials. Okay, and in most of the organizations, they are using the hard coded credentials, and they are not rotating the passwords of the target servers frequently. That is also one type of the risk. And the third one is like, as I told, right, passwords are not rotating the frequently. This one. And fourth one is like setting the weak password or guessable passwords. Let us say in organizations, what they're doing, like whenever they have created the new server, they will create the password. Okay, that password also weak password, like welcome at the rate of 1 to 3, happy new year. Okay, that kind of password they are setting. Okay, if a hacker want to steal any client data, if they have an intention to steal the client data, so he won't directly attack on the target server. First, he will try to run some guessable scanning tool. In case if your server is having the guessable password, then the job gets done easy, right? So these are the types of attacks that are happening. Okay, and you can see what is the workflow of the target server connection without PAM solution. So without CyberArk, how the end users are connected to the target server. So generally, if anyone want to connect to the Windows server, what they will do, like they will open the remote desktop connection, they will put the address, username, password details, and they will connect to the target server. And whatever the activities they are performing on the target server, if something happens on the target server, definitely there is no audit also. Okay, so we cannot prevent the that attack also. Okay, but coming to the what is the advantage of the advantage when the end users connect to the target server with the PAM solution? As I told, right, we are going to onboard all the Windows, Linux, and database, all these servers that are using in the organization in our CyberArk tool. Okay. If anyone want to connect to the target servers, first they have to log into the CyberArk interface. Once they click on the connect button, they won't directly connect to the target server. Okay. In between, we are placing a jump off server that is called a PSN. So by using that PSN, they will connect to the target server. And also, like as I told, right, so here the target server credentials will be automatically provided by our CyberArk. Here the end user no need to remember any username and password. And also, like once the end user connected to the target server, here a component called PSM. PSM will record all the activities performed by the end user on the target server. Based on the suspicious activities that was done on the target server, our CyberArk will terminate the sessions or suspend the sessions. Okay, this is the workflow. And what are the benefits of the PAM solution? Generally, here the PAM is providing the two features. One is the password management feature and the session management feature. What do you mean by password management feature means? So once we onboarded any application team servers like Windows servers or Linux servers or database servers, generally we are setting the master policy. What do you mean by master policy means? Based on the client requirement, we are rotating the password. Okay. Suppose let us say we have onboarded some Windows servers, 10 Windows servers. We'll take the requirement from the application team. How many days after you want us to rotate the password? If they say like 90 days means, we'll configure the 90 days. Once the 90 days period comes, our CyberArk will automatically rotate the password of that target server account. Okay. And also, like while generating the password after 90 days, it will ensure that the password should be strong, like it should be maximum 15 characters, and the password should contain upper characters, lower cases, special characters, numeric characters. Okay, it will ensure that all the password complexity is meeting or not. And also, like in the CyberArk, each and every data is in encrypted format. Okay, it won't appear in the plain text format. You can see this is the actual password, but uh, outside how it will appear, like it will appear in the encrypted format. Okay, you can see it's a combination of some alphabetic characters. Okay, numerics, etc. If anyone want to view this actual password, they have to decrypt this password. Okay, and also, like let us say a hacker successfully logged into the PAM portal, and if you want to steal this password, first you have to decrypt this password. Let us say he's trying to decrypt this password also. At that time, CyberArk will recognize like someone is trying to steal this account password, and automatically it will generate the new password. Okay, like that it will perform the activities. Okay, as I told, right, it has the capability to rotate the password based on the master policies: 60, 90 days, 180 days, 120 days, based on the application tier requirement. Second feature is session management. As I told, right, once the end user connected to the target server by using the component called PSN, where we will record the activities performed by the end user on the target server. So based on the suspicious activity, we can terminate or suspend the sessions. Okay. And also, like here the CyberArk, there will be some auditors will be there. Auditors have the rights to monitor the live sessions. They can use the recordings. They can download the recordings. They can perform whatever they want. Okay. Yeah, you can see between the internal attacker and external attackers, sorry, internal attacks and external attacks and target server, we are placing the PAM solution. If anyone want to enter into the target server, definitely they have to break the PAM solution. So here our PAM is not only protecting the Windows, Linux, database or web application accounts. We are going to protect the network devices, hypervisor accounts, endpoint accounts, social media accounts, etc. Okay, what are the key features that are providing by the PAM? Okay, as I told, right, we are going to onboard the Windows, Linux, database. Okay, all the different types of accounts. Suppose let us say there are almost 500 accounts are there. Okay, 500 accounts we can onboard in various ways, but they are the more accounts, right? So where it requires a manual effort. So without engagement of the human beings, if you want to onboard these accounts automatically, you can automatically onboard these accounts using a process called discovery. So generally we can run the discovery. So it will discover the accounts that are present on the domain joined missions, and it will automatically onboard in the CyberArk without engagement of the human beings. Okay. You can see, like, if anyone want to connect with the target server, first they have to log in into the PAM interface. After that, when they click on the connect button, they won't directly connect to the target server. We are placing a PSM. So it is also called a jump off server. By using that jump off server, like, they will connect to the target server, and direct RTP connection won't be allowed. It means, like, once if anyone want to connect with the target server, they first should log in into the PAM interface. Outside connections we will disable. Like, the outside of the CyberArk connections won't be enabled. Yeah, as I told, right, where auditors can view the live sessions, they can view the recordings also. So you can see this is the one type of the screenshot, like, where auditor is viewing the live session and he viewing the recording. Generally it is useful for the Linux and also like databases, because Linux it will deals with commands, databases it deals with queries, right? So they can view like what are the queries that were typed by the end user on the target server. Okay. Yeah, these are the features. One is the discovery, as I told, right, where you can onboard the accounts without human engagement. Isolate here, target server credentials will never expose to the end users. Record and audit, like, once the end user connects to the target server, recording will be done by the PSO. Monitor, auditor can monitor the live session based on that suspicious or suspicious activities, like he can terminate the live sessions. Okay. Remediate is nothing but like, so generally our CyberArk we can integrate with third party tools like QRadar, Splunk, etc. If any activities are happens on the target servers or CyberArk, generally we will receive the alerts from the third party tool. Okay, so this is about the CyberArk. Okay, uh, actually our training is 90% is a practical training, 10% is a theoretical. First, CyberArk is divided into two phases. One is the implementation phase, and second one is the operation phase. In implementation phase, we are going to set up the CyberArk environment. For that, like, we have to install some components. Okay, we are going to install all the components in the virtual machines by installing the operating system, by setting the firewall rules, configuring the IP address. Okay, we are doing everything from the scratch. Okay, once everything is done, like, we are going to perform the operations part. Operations means, like, we are onboarding various kinds of Windows accounts, Linux accounts, and we are seeing the scenarios like how CyberArk will automatically rotate the passwords of this account, and how the end user will connect to the target server, how auditor can view the live sessions, how we will terminate the live sessions. We are going to see all the scenarios. Okay, so generally the system requirements that are required for the CyberArk is, okay, actually your personal laptop, it should contains at least 12 or 16 GB. So maybe if it is there till 32 GB, no problem. And also, like, at least one drive should have more than 500 GB. Okay, these are the real time scenarios. But in our lab, actually, one hard drive should have at least 500 GB. Okay, and we are going to install all these cyber components in the virtual machine. Hardly we are going to build 10 to 11 virtual machines. Okay, so this 10 to 11 virtual machines, some are Windows based operating system and some are Linux based operating system. Okay, so your personal laptop at least should have like 12 or 16 GB RAM. Okay, software prerequisites, as I told, right, we are going to create all the CyberArk environment in the virtual machines by installing the operating system. Generally, we are installing the operating system as 2016. Okay, I'm going to provide the software, and also like we require the Chrome or Edge browser. Okay, these are the some prerequisites: .NET Framework, Microsoft Visual C++, and also like CyberArk installation files. Okay. For installing the CyberArk, generally we require a license. I'm going to provide the license and also setup files, prerequisite files, browser files, operating system, virtual machine setup files. Everything I'm going to provide from my end. Okay. So the topics that we are going to discuss today, we have seen the introduction about the PAN. Tomorrow we are going to start about the vault. Okay, this is the first component that we are going to discuss. Overview of the vault. Okay, how to install the vault. Okay, private client installation, Active Directory installation, PVW CPM installation, PSM installation. Okay, after setting the CyberArk environment, like we are going to onboard the various kinds of Windows accounts, like Windows local account onboarding, domain account onboarding, shared account, check-in checkout policy, and how our CyberArk will perform the verification change of the accounts. Okay, how the end users will connect to the target servers. Okay, and DR installation. DR is nothing but like whenever our CyberArk primary environment is down, we are going to set up the DR. Okay, and also we have to take the backup of the our CyberArk data. For that, like we are going to install the backup installation, and we are going to see how the backup will runs. Okay, and the restore vault PSMP installation. This is the one of the component. Unix account onboarding, Active Directory integration. Okay, domain mappings. Okay, as I told, right, we have some master policies in our CyberArk. We are going to discuss about the master policy. Account discovery, as I told, right, where we can onboard the accounts without a human engagement. So discovery process, break glass method, email integration. We are going to see some reports. Okay, vault monetization. Okay, REST API onboarding using the PowerShell. Yeah, application account onboarding and the common issues and PVW platform settings. Okay? So these are the topics I'm going to cover as part of this CyberArk trial. Okay. Do you have any queries? Can you send me in chat like if you have any queries? Yeah, generally target servers are nothing but like Windows, Linux, database, web application servers. We will call it as target servers here. Okay. In real time also, we will call it as target servers. We won't call specifically it is a Windows or Linux. Generally, we will call it as target servers. No, 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 not required. SQL is not required. Yeah, generally you should know some infrastructure level things on Windows and also Linux. Okay, we are going to install the PSMP. For that PSMP installation, generally we deal with the commands only. Yeah, but I will let you know. It's a simple commands only. Okay, no need to learn the advanced parts. Okay, so generally when you install the vault, okay, some safes will be created. Okay, safes is nothing but like a locker which stores all our onboarding data and also like the components data. Okay.
Okay.
So what are the components of the CyberArk? Okay, as I told, right, there are a few components you have to install, right, before onboarding the accounts. The first component you are going to install the CyberArk Digital Vault, and the second one is like a PVW. It is also called as Password Vault Web Access Interface. So in PVW only, we are going to onboard all the accounts, and how the end users will connect with their target servers means by logging into the PVW. Okay, it is the front end interface of our CyberArk Digital Vault. Okay, and also like generally when you install the vault, you cannot directly log in into the vault. Okay, so you can log in into the vault using the interface called PrivateArk administrator interface. Okay, after installation of the vault, like we are going to install this PrivateArk interface also. Okay, and the next component is like CPM. CPM is also called as Central Policy Manager. As I told, right, after onboarding the accounts, we have to perform the password rotation for onboarding accounts, right? So generally by using the CPM only, we are rotating the passwords. Okay. And the next component is like a PSM. It is also called as a privileged session manager. So once you connect to the target server, so it will record all the activities performed by the end user on the target server. So it will record all the activities using this component only. It is called PSM. Okay. And the last component is privileged session manager for SSH. Okay. Generally, why this component came into the picture means in real time, Linux team will be there. Okay, Linux team will connect to the target servers using the tool called Putty. Okay, they are habituated to use Linux servers using the Putty tool. For them to come to CyberArk and to connect to the target servers, it's a bit difficult for them. So that's why without logging into the our CyberArk, they can directly connect to their target Linux servers outside of the CyberArk using the tool called Putty, but they have to use some connection string. So once they use the connection string, at that time the PSM for SSH will record the activities. Okay. The main difference between PSM and PSM for SSH means whenever if any end user connects to the target servers inside the CyberArk, at that time PSM will record the activities. Okay. Whenever if the end user connect to the target servers outside of the CyberArk using the Putty tool, at that time this PSM for SSH will record the activities. Okay. This PSM SSH is dedicated only for the Linux team. Okay. And the PSM will record the all the accounts like Windows, Linux, database, any account. Okay. But this PSM for SSH only for Linux servers. Okay. You
So
got
should we know Linux and Unix also?
yeah, basic commands. Okay, basic
Basic.
commands. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you, as I told, right, we are going to set up the CyberArk environment. So these are the system requirements that we have to follow. So generally, we have to hand over the system requirements to the Windows team. Windows team will consider the system requirements and they will design the server. Okay. So let us see, like the PVWA, it is requirements. Okay. Windows server should have these specifications. Suppose let us say if you are onboarding less than 1,000 accounts in your environment, then your PVWA machine should have quad-core processor. Your machine should have the quad-core processor and also like 8 GB RAM. Okay, network adapter, DVD RAM. Okay, suppose if you are maintaining 1,000 to 20,000 accounts, then your PVWA machine should have 2x quad-core processor, 16 GB RAM. Okay, 2x 80 GB drives, write controller, network adapter, DVD ROM. Okay, and if it is a large implementation, like if you are maintaining between 20,000 to 1 lakh accounts, then your machine should have 2x 8 core processor, 32 GB RAM, network adapter like that. If it is a very, very large implementation, means like greater than 1 lakh accounts you are maintaining, then your machine should have 4x 8 core processor, 64 GB RAM, network adapter, DVD RAM. What do you mean by network adapter means, as I told, right, we are going to install all our components in the virtual machine. Okay. In order to allow the internet to your virtual machine, then you have to install the network adapter. Okay, these are the system requirements that you have to consider. And before set up the CyberArk environment, we will have a call with the all the application team. Okay, based on the requirements, like we have to design a rough architecture. So based on that, like you have to create your architecture and hand over your system requirements to the Windows team. They will design the servers and they will hand over the servers to us. And after that, we have to install the CyberArk components. Okay, this is the PVW. Okay, and these are the software requirements of the PVWA. As I told, right, so every machine we are going to install the operating system. It will support the operating system like starting from 2012 to 2022. You can install any operating system, and also like a PVWA is a web application. Okay, so generally you will put the URL in your browser and you will connect to the PVWA web application. Okay, PVWA works with the IaaS. IaaS stands for the Internet Information Services. It is the one of the prerequisites role that we have to install before creating the PVWA. And also like some more prerequisites are there, that is nothing but like .NET Framework 4.8. And also like as I told, right, we will launch the PVWA using the browser. It will support the Chrome browser, Internet Explorer, or Edge browser, any browser. Okay, these are the software requirements for the PVWA. Okay, and the hardware requirements for the vault. Okay, so whichever I have discussed previously for the PVWA, the same system requirements will fall for a vault as well. Okay, And these are the software requirements of the Vault. Okay, the operating system is the common .NET Framework 4.8 we have to install, and also like some Microsoft Visual C++ files we have to install. Okay, remaining components like PVW, CPM, PSM, PSMP, those servers should be part of the domain. But as I told, right, Vault is a sensitive component where it was storing all our onboarding data and also components data. So Vault should be part of the local server. It should not be domain joined server. And also like no third party tools or antivirus softwares or backup tools should not be installed on the Vault. Okay, because in case if the Vault is compromised, our CyberArk is completely shut down. So that's why we have to protect our Vault. Okay. Security requirements is also same. There is no change. But software requirements, actually, this is also common. Like any operating system, it will support 4.8 Microsoft Visual C++. And also, like as I told, right, we can install our CyberArk components in the cloud platforms and also on-premise environment. In case if you have decided to install your components on the cloud platform, then you can, these are the cloud platforms it will be supported. That is Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud platforms. Okay. PSM, the hardware requirements, somehow it will vary. Okay. PSM, as I told, right, which acts the end user to connect to the target server. Okay. Suppose at a time, if you want to have the 1 to 10 conference sessions, generally our PSM server should follow these system requirements like 8-core processor, 8 GB RAM, network adapter like that. If you want like 11 to 50 conference sessions at the same time, then your machine should have 16-core processor, 16 GB RAM, network adapter like that. If it is a large implementation and if you want concurrent sessions like 51 to 100, then your machine should have 32 core processor, 32 GB RAM, network adapter. Okay, these are the hardware requirements for the PSM. And coming to the PSM, as I told, right, a PSM which helps the end user to connect to the target server. So generally PSM works on the remote desktop session, RDP. So we have to install some roles also before installing the PSM, that is the remote desktop services, remote desktop sessions, gateway, web access, connection broker. These are the things that we have to install. And also like a PSM can be installed in the cloud platforms, that is the AWS, Microsoft, and Google Cloud platforms. Okay. So once you install the digital vault, what are the things that you are going to see? What is the vault environment? Okay. Yeah. So these are the 7 layers of the digital vault. Okay. So authentication is nothing but like so the users that you want to allow to connect to the target servers. Generally, we will allow them to log in using the LDAP integration. Okay, the users are present in the Active Directory, and we will integrate that Active Directory with the Cyber. So automatically, the users will log in into the PVW using the Active Directory authentication, and whichever the authorizations that we have provided to connect to the target servers, and they will see those servers and they will connect to the target servers. Okay, this is authentication. Firewall. So generally, when you install every component, before that we have to set up the firewall rules. Okay, there will be 2 firewall rules will be there. One is the outbound rule and the second one is the inbound rule. Outbound rule is nothing but like, suppose if your machine wants to communicate with any other machine, then you have to open the outbound rule. Okay, inbound rule is nothing but like, if any other machine wants to communicate with your current machine, then you have to open the inbound rules. Okay, in real time, these firewall rules will be opened by network team. Okay, no need to worry from our end. Okay, they will take care. Okay, and the next one is like segregation of the duties. Segregation of the duties are nothing but like here we are providing the authorizations to the respective teams. It means like Windows team have to access only Windows servers, Linux team to access only Linux servers. We are not giving any clubbed permissions. Okay. Next one is the comprehensive monitoring. Comprehensive monitoring is nothing but like, as I told, right, by using the PSM, we will record the activities performed by the end user on the target server. Okay. Tamper-proof auditability. Tamper-proof auditability means like generally from the CyberArk, we have a option to generate the reports. It means like how many accounts are onboarded, and according to the policy, the passwords are rotating or not. We can see everything by using the reports. Okay. Hierarchical encryption, as I told, right, in our vault, all the data will be stored in the encrypted format. Okay, it won't appear in the plain text format. Generally, CyberArk is using the algorithm called SHA-256 and SHA-512 algorithm. By using this algorithm, we are placing the data in a encrypted format. It means like more secure. Okay. Session encryption, as I told, right, once the recording gets completed on any target server, the recording will be moved to the vault inside a safe called PSN recording safe. Okay. These are the 7 security layers, how the data is protected from the CyberArk. Yeah. When you install any component, after post installation of every component, like we are doing the hardening. What you mean by hardening means, hardening is nothing but like which will block all the unwanted services, unwanted firewalls, unwanted roles, unwanted users, okay, unwanted things, okay, which makes the server more secure, okay. Yeah, when you install the vault, as I told, right, you are going to see all the data in the form of safes. Okay, safe is nothing but like a locker. It is a considered the basic access control unit. Like every safe, we are going to provide authorizations to the end user. So based on the authorization that you provided on the safe level, generally these are the permissions. Like they can monitor the data, retrieve the data, store the data, delete the data, backup the data. Okay, these are the permissions that are having on the safe level. You can see it is the one of the safe have provided access to the one of the other called John. John is having these permissions. So based on these permissions, he can do the actions on the safe. This is the vault level permissions. So in the upcoming sessions, like practical sessions, like you will understand what is the safe level permissions and other vault level permissions. Okay. Once you install the vault, okay, by default, some built-in users will be created. First one is the administrator user. If you want to perform any administrator task or any onboarding things, generally we will use the administrator. It is also called as vault administrator. And the second one is the auditor. As I told, right, auditor is responsible for monitoring the live sessions. He can terminate or suspend the session. He can view the recordings by using this auditor user. Backup user, generally every day we are going to do a lot of activities on the CyberArk. We will do the onboarding of accounts in the CyberArk. So we have to take the backup. So by using this backup user only, we are taking the backup of the data. Operator is nothing but like, so generally whenever the vault is down during the disaster recovery scenarios, we will bring the second vault. Okay. In case if the first vault and the second vault both are down, then by using the backup data, we are restoring the data using the operator user. Okay. DR stands for the disaster recovery. Whenever the primary vault is down, by using this DR user, we will bring the second vault. Okay. Notification engine user is responsible to send the notifications to the end users in the form of emails. Okay. Last one is the master user. Master user is also called as the supervisor. Okay. Whenever the administrator user is locked out, or if the administrator user is not able to log in into the CyberArk, generally we will use the master user. Okay, master is the more sensitive user. It will be used in the emergency situations. Okay, these are the users that are created after installation of the vault. Okay, are you able to follow?
Yes, sir. So
Yeah.
DR, I didn't understand. So DR is actually for
Disaster recovery.
disaster recovery is used when?
Yes, yeah. Whenever we are going to install the vault first. Okay, in case if the vault is gets down, generally we are going to build the second vault using this DR one. Okay, disaster recovery. Yeah, we will see this one in the practical sessions.
Okay, okay.
Okay. First we are going to install the vault. Okay. For that, like first we have to install the VMware version. VMware software we have to install. After that, we have to install the operating system. Generally, in our lab, like we are going to install all the components in the 2016 operating system. After that, we have to install the VMware tools. So what I mean by VMware tools means, like generally, if you want to copy any software from your personal laptop to the VMware machine, generally we have to install the VMware tools. Okay. And next one, like after that, I will configure the IP address for my VMware machine. And I will open the outbound rule and the inbound rule. So after that, like I will install the vault. Okay. So post that, like the last one is like, as I told, right, we cannot log in into the vault directly. For that, we have to install the PrivateArk administrator interface, or it is also called as PrivateArk client. Okay, these are the things that I'm going to show you today. Are you clear with this?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, this is the VMware player. Okay. Directly you can install this one. Right click on it and run as an administrator. So you have to click on S.
So all this requirement is only for lab environment, is it? Or
No. In real time also, like they will do the same thing. Okay. But
okay.
installation of the VMware player and also like installation of the Windows operating system, configuring the firewall rules, IP address, it is out of scope for our PAM team. Okay.
Okay.
It will be done by Windows and the firewall team. Once they're done, like they will hand out the server to us. After that, we have to install the vault. Okay. Actually, in
Oh.
the real time, our work will start from here. Okay. From the fifth point. So click on the next here. Actually, this VMware player is already installed in my lab. Okay, so that's why it's showing whether you want to repair or remove. So directly you can click next, and finally you can see the finished option. So once you click on that, you can see the VMware player is installed in your desktop. Okay, you can see it is the icon will appear in the yellow color. Okay, just right click on it, open. Okay, so here I'm going to create a new virtual machine. So select the create a new virtual machine. Okay, so select the option. I will install the operating system. Click on next. Okay, so we are going to install the Windows operating system 2016. So select the Microsoft Windows and give 2016. Okay, click on next. So give your virtual machine name. So I'm giving the virtual machine name is primary vault. Okay, you can give any name. So click on next. This is the location where your virtual machine is going to sit. Okay, this is the path, and make sure that at least one drive should have more than 500 GB. Okay, so I'm utilizing only the C drive. My C drive is having 1 TB. Okay, so click on next. By default, when you install any virtual machine, the disk space will be 60 GB. Okay, if you want, you can increase the space. Select this option. So only one drive you can see, C drive. If you select the second option, what will happen is like C drive and D drive will be created. 30 GB will be allocated for the C drive and 30 GB will be allocated for the D drive. Okay.
Okay.
So click on the customize hardware. So memory by default you can give 1 GB. Actually my machine is having 16 GB. So based on that, like you can give to 2 GB or 4 GB. So I'm giving the 1 GB here. Okay. After that, you have to select the network adapter. Network adapter always it should be VM-Net0. Okay. And select this one, new CD, DVD or SATA. You have to select your Windows operating system 2016. Select this option, click on browse. Actually, I have placed in my 2016 operating system in my desktop. Okay, this is the operating system you have to select. So click on open. So click on close and finish. Click on the play virtual machine. So click on enter. You have to take action whenever a blue color window pop-up comes. Okay.
Okay.
This is the control alt delete button. Okay, to log in into any virtual machine, you have to click on control alt delete machine. This is for pause, and this is for player where you can restart the virtual machine, shut down or suspend the virtual machine. You can keep the virtual machine in the full screen mode also after installing the VMware tools. Okay, so use your keyboard arrows, down arrow, up arrow. Select boot normally and make sure that you have to give the enter 2 times. Okay, first time I'm giving enter, again give enter. So it will load the ISO file, that is a 2016 operating system. By default, keep the English language. Click on next. Click on install now. Okay, we have to select the second option, 2016 standard evaluation. Click on next. Accept the license terms. Select the second option. Just we are installing the operating system. We are not going to update any operating system. Okay. By default, we have selected 60 GB showing. Click on next. So it will install the operating system in your virtual machine.
So this is the first component, right, sir?
Yeah, this is the first component.
Okay.
Every component we are going to install in the dedicated virtual machine. Okay.
Okay.
Actually, the wall should be in a dedicated local server. Okay. Remaining components like PVW, CPM, PSM, PSMP should be part of the domain. So before installing the PVW or CPM or any other component, we are going to install the Active Directory. Okay. You are aware of the Active Directory?
No, sir.
So Active Directory, it's nothing but like it's one of the trusted source where we can place the users server data there. Okay.
Okay, so instead of saving it in like the vault, we save it in Active
No,
Directory.
no, not like that. Okay. So Active Directory in real time in IT industry, so all the users, all the servers will be stored in the Active Directory. It's like a external source.
External source. Okay.
External source. It's a safe storage. Okay. It's not related to the vault.
Okay. So which means Active Directory team will be different?
Yes, yes. In real time, Active Directory will be different.
Okay.
So Active Directory, Windows, Linux, it is out of scope for our parent team. Okay, but we have a dependency with them. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, when you install any operating system in a virtual machine, okay, by default a built-in administrator will be created. Okay, so we have to provide a password to log in into the machine. So I'm using the password called CyberArk at the rate of 123. Try to give only one password, because on going forward we are going to provide a lot of passwords. Okay, it's very difficult to remember each and every password, so stick with only one password. Okay, I'm giving CyberArk at the rate of 123. Okay, give control plus alt delete. This is the symbol, and it's expecting the password, so provide the password that you have given recently. CyberArk at the rate of 1. You can see my virtual machine is came up. So as I told, right, in order to copy any files from my This is the base machine. Okay, we will call it as base machine, and this is my virtual machine. Okay, to copy any files from my base machine to the VMware machine, generally you have to install the VMware tools. Okay, so go to the player, manage, click on install VMware tools. When you go to the file explorer, select this PC. You can see the DVD drive, right? Just double click on it. You can see a set of file will be downloaded at the bottom of the screen. So open it. So click on next, install. Installation is very simple. Okay, no need to remember any steps here. So based on the prompt, like you have to take the action.
Okay.
For every installation, like you have to restart your VMware server. So click on finish, and it's asking for the restart here for a VMware machine. So click on yes, it will automatically do the restore. So again, login with the built-in administrator password. Okay. Now we have to configure the IP address of this machine. Okay. How to configure this IP address of this machine? Okay. I will configure my IP address based on that my base machine. Okay. If you go to base machine, if you open CMD command prompt, it is called as command prompt. Okay. So open it. To see the IP address of your base machine, just to give this command ipconfig. It will show the list of IP address. Always we have to take the VMNet as a reference. Okay, you can see Wi-Fi and some other things, but always we have to take the VMNet. Okay, you can see my VMNet IP address. Okay, IP4 address you have to consider. That is starting with 192.168.137.1. Okay, I will take this IP address as a reference, and I will configure to my primary vault VMware machine. Okay, so what I will do, I will change the last digit. Okay. Anyway, one is occupied by my base machine, right? Two I will give for my vault machine. Okay. So how to give the IP address? Okay. So you can see the internet symbol, right? So just right click on it, click on open networking sharing center, click on change adapter settings. You can see the Ethernet 0, right click on it, properties. Okay. So select the IP4. Always we will configure the IP address in IPv4. Okay. Click on properties. Select the use the following IP address. Okay. So what I will do, I will give 192.168.137. As I told, right, I will change the last digit. So 2. For remaining machines, what I will do, I will follow the sequential order like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Subnet mask, no need to give manually. When you put your cursor here, automatically it will show you. Okay. Default gateway, nothing but like you have to give your base machine IP address. Okay. It's ending with 1. Because why I'm giving the default gateway? Because I'm creating the communication to my VMware machine and also like my base machine. Okay. So click on OK. Close. Okay. To see the IP address is reflected or not for my VMware machine, open CMD. Give IP config. You can see it's showing the correct IP address.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as I told, right, we have to open the firewall rules. That is the outbound rule and inbound rule. So search with the firewall. So you can see inbound rule and outbound rule. So select the inbound rule. Click on new rule. In my lab here, I'm opening all the rules, but in real time, this firewall team, whichever the rules are that are required for a functioning of the our components, they will open the specific rules only. Okay. So select the program, click on next, all programs, click on next, allow the connection. Okay. Next. This firewall rule will be applied to the domain network, private network, and public networks. Okay, click on next, and you can provide rule name, that is the inbound rule name. Inbound rule is nothing but like whenever if any destination machine wants to communicate with our vault machine, then you have to open the inbound rule. Okay. Outbound rule is nothing but like if your vault machine wants to communicate with any destination machine, then you have to open the outbound rule. Okay. Click on new rule, select the program, next, all programs, allow the connection, next, next, and provide the rule name. Okay, I have opened both inbound rule and outbound rule. You can see outbound rule and inbound rule. Yeah, you can see a lot of rules are open. Whenever if I do the hardening for this vault machine, a lot of unwanted firewall rules will be removed. Okay. Yeah. This is the vault machine, right? So first we have to copy all the prerequisites files. Okay, what are the
So we have
prerequisites?
to remove the unwanted ports or
No,
how?
no. Generally, when you perform the hardening, automatically it will remove all the rules,
Okay.
unwanted rules. Okay. Yeah, first we have to copy the prerequisite files. The prerequisite files are .NET Framework, Microsoft Visual C++ files, okay? And also Vault setup file. So I will copy from my base machine. I will share this setup file, okay? We are going to install all these CyberArk components. The latest version is 14 point version.
Okay.
So this is the Vault setup file, okay? Just to copy this one. I'm placing this Vault setup file in my C drive. When you go inside Vault folder, a lot of files will be there. Whatever the files that are required for the installing the vault, I will keep only those files. So it's not required. I'm deleting this one. PrivateArk key generator is also not required. Tackly is also not required. Replicate is not required. Only these three files. Currently these are zipped files, right? I will unzip this one. Okay, I'm deleting the zip files. And also like for installing the vault, we require some keys also, operator key, master key, and also license. License generally in the real time will be provided by the CyberArk vendor. Okay. When you purchase the CyberArk from the vendor, like they will assign the license. Yeah, these are the license and operator key and master CD. Yes. Okay. Okay, these are the prerequisites file. One is the .NET Framework 4.8, Microsoft Visual C++ 64 and 86 version. These are the prerequisites. I'm placing in the desktop. First, we will install the prerequisites. Okay. So first, I will install the .NET Framework. Just select this file, right click on it, run as an administrator. So accept the license terms. Click on install. Okay, the installation is completed.
Okay.
I will do the restart of the server after installation of the Visual C++ files also. Okay. So I'm installing the Visual C++ 64 version. Right click on it, run as an administrator. So I accept the license terms, click on install. So click on close. Okay. So now install this 86 version. So now restart this server. When you click on the power button, like you can see the option restore. Can you drop your email ID so that I can share all these files, setup files and everything?
Sure.
In chat you can do. Okay, I'm logging into the vault. So what is your shift timings?
I'm not working currently.
Okay. As I told, right, this is the vault server. It is a very sensitive server, like
Mhm.
which holds all our components data. Like when you install the PBW, CPM, PSM, all the data also will be storing inside the vault only. And also,
Mhm.
like when you onboard the any server data, that is also going to sit inside the vault server only. So it is a more sensitive server. So that's why we have to keep the server in a more secure way. For that, like we have to do this some changes in the network settings. Okay. So when
Okay.
you go to the open network sharing, internet options, properties, okay. So you can see a lot of network protocols are unchecked right here, except IP4 and IP6. Remaining protocols we have to uncheck because there is a chance like some other machine firewalls also will try to hit our wall server. So that's why I'm going to disable these rules. Okay. Except IP4 and IP6, remaining rules you can uncheck that one. Okay, this is the
Okay.
IPv6. Okay, I'm storing only, I'm keeping only IP4 and IPv6. Okay, and also like when you go to the IP4 properties, you have to do the advanced settings also. Click on advanced, click on WinStep. Okay, so currently this option is checked, right? You have to disable this one and you have to select this option, disable net bias. Okay, just
Okay.
we are restricting the other protocols not to hit our wall server. Okay, click on OK, OK, and close. So how to recognize whether this server is a walled server and maybe it is a Active Directory domain joined server means when you go to the server manager, select the local server. You can see it's appearing as a work group. Work group means like it's a local server. Okay. If we see a domain name, then it is a domain joined server. Okay. As I told, right, our wall server should be part of the local server. It means like it should be part of the work group, but remaining servers like PVW, CPM, PSM, it should be part of the domain joined server. Okay.
Okay.
Now we are good to install the vault. We have completed all the prerequisites. So go to the vault setup file. So this is the server folder. This is the vault folder. Okay. Go inside. You can see this setup file with a blue color icon. Type as the application. Just select this one. Right click on it. Run as an administrator. So we are installing the 14.x version of the CyberArk Digital Vault. Click on next here. Accept the license terms. Click on yes. Okay. So it's asking for the name and company name. Generally, in the real time, we are going to provide the organizational name and the company name. Organizational name and the project name. Okay. Here you can give any name. I'm giving the CyberArk. So actually, we can install the vault in two ways. One is the standalone method, and the second one is the cluster method. Standalone means only one vault will be installed. Cluster means like two vaults will be installed. Okay, I'm selecting the first one. So this is the destination folder. When you install the
So
vault,
two walls, sorry, sir. So two walls means data will be same on both.
data will be shared between the two vaults. Okay. Here the data will be stored only in inside one vault only. Here the data will be shared between the two vaults. Okay.
Okay.
So this is a destination folder where your vault related files are sitting. This is the path. Okay. Yeah, as I told, right, when once you install the vault, some saves will be created. This is the path where you can see the saves. As I told, right, so while installing the vault, it will accept the license file. In real time, this license will be provided by the CyberArk vendor. So we have to give the license path. Okay, I have copied the license path or license folder. So you have to go to this license folder and just give only folder. Okay, where this license is present, just give that folder. So click on browse and give the license folder. Yeah, it's asking for the operator CD path. Okay, so This is the operator CD. So give this folder. Click on OK and next. Remote control agent. What do you mean by remote control agent means? So actually remote control, by using this remote control agent, we can monitor whether the vault services are running or not. Vault CPU, memory, disk utilization are under control or not. We can validate all the things using the remote control agent. Actually, I already copied the remote control agent folder also. You can see this is the remote control agent folder. So it's asking where this remote control agent folder is exists. So actually, this folder is present in my vault IP address. So I'm giving them my vault machine IP address. To monitor the vault services, CPU, memory, disk utilization, generally we have to provide the remote control client password. So I'm providing the password like CyberArk at the rate of 1 to 3. Click on next. We can install the vault in a third method, that is nothing a distributed vault. Distributed vault means, let us say if you are maintaining more than 6 lakhs, 7 lakhs, 8 lakhs accounts, at that time you can install the multiple vaults, okay, where you can deploy the multiple vaults in different regions like Asia, Europe, UK, okay, USA, like that, okay. So I'm not going to install the distributed vault, just uncheck this option, click on next. As I told, right, so for every component we are performing the hardening. So I want to do the hardening also for my machine. So if you don't want to perform the hardening, you can select this option, okay. So I want a hardening, so that's why I'm unchecking this option. Click on next. Click on next, okay. It's performing the hardening. It means like it will block lot of services, lot of firewalls, lot of users, okay, lot of security policies. Every Windows machine will have some security policies. It will disable unwanted security policies. Yeah, after this installation also, yeah, I will show you like what are the things that are going to disable after performing the hardening, okay.
So what is the chances of non-ITs getting job in CyberArk? What is the percentage of chances you're telling? Have you
Yeah, most of
trained
the
non-IT team also?
yes, most of the people are shifting from non-IT to IT.
Okay.
Because if you see all the background verification, I think there will be no impact. Yeah, it's very easy to clear IT IT entries, but it depends upon your skill set. Okay, so yeah, when you shift to the IT, yeah, most of the things are similar only, but survival is more important. You should have some technical skills.
Okay.
It's asking for to set the password of the master password and administrator password, okay. As I told,
Mhm.
right, this master user is a super user, administrator user is nothing but like a vault administrator user. So I'm
Okay.
going to set the password. All our vault data will be stored in the database called MySQL database, okay.
Okay.
You are aware of this Windows Linux database things, right?
Windows fine, Linux, we're not sure.
Okay. Yeah, except PSMP, remaining components we are installing on Windows
Windows.
only, okay. Yeah, now restart the server.
So PSMP is mandatory for CyberArk? Like, do they
Yeah,
install PSMP also?
based on the client requirement, they will adopt this one.
Okay.
So not a mandatory, but remaining components is mandatory, like
Mhm.
PVWS and PS. And the commands also easy only, like mostly hardly like it will be 10 to 12 commands.
Okay. So CyberArk jobs are mostly into service based only or product also?
Implementation or operation. Actually, CyberArk is divided in two phases. Implementation like installing the components. Operations means like daily have to work on BAU things like onboarding the accounts, offboarding the accounts. If any users are facing issues while connecting to the target server, we are responsible for resolving the issues. Okay, if any component is not running, like we are responsible for fixing the issues, upgrading the cyber component versions, like that in BAU work will be there. Okay.
Okay, so in case if I have to apply, I should apply as operations only?
Yeah, operations, you can go with the operations. Implementation also they will expect. Okay, you can say like some some basic knowledge on that.
Okay.
Yeah, when you install the Vault server, you can see a console will be created. Okay, this is called a Vault console. Okay, when you open this one, you can see the red color traffic light. It means like currently the Vault server is running. Okay, and you can see the version that we have installed is showing, and also the firewall is open for the client communication, and it's successfully connected to the MySQL database. And also, as I told, right, in our CyberArk, like every data will be encrypted. The encryption is
So your
using this.
volume is very low.
Yeah, it's using the SHA-256 algorithm, SHA-512 algorithm. Okay, so if I want to shut down the vault, okay, so you have to click on this one. So it will click on yes here. It will stop the vault services. Okay,
Okay.
you can see it was changed to the green color. Again, if you want to run this one, click on OK. It will start the vault service. Okay, so not only the vault, okay, so some services also will be installed in the background. When you search with services.msc, you can see the services. Click on S here. The main service is the PrivateArk server. Okay, this is the vault server. You can stop these vault services either from console or either from this services.msc. If I stop here, so automatically the console also will be going to shut down. You can see it was shut down in the background. Okay, if I want to start again, you can start from here, or otherwise you can start from the console as well.
Okay.
Okay, this is the PrivateArk server. PrivateArk remote control agent is nothing but like which is used to monitor CPU, memory, disk utilization, and whether the vault services are running. This is for remote control agent. PrivateArk database, generally MySQL database is installed, so it's responsible for storing all our vault data. Okay, and also like the services called CyberArk event notification engine. Actually, this service should be up and running. The service is responsible to send the notification to the end users. Okay, CyberArk hardening firewall. When you do the hardening of your vault, by default the service will be created in the background. Like okay, by using this service only, it will block all the unnecessary things. CyberArk logic container. Actually, this service is responsible to maintain the policies of the CyberArk vault. Okay, PVW, CPM, PSM policies. Okay, and you can see after doing the hardening, most of the services are disabled. You can see the disabled state.
Okay.
Yeah, it's blocked all the unwanted services. And also when you open the firewall rules, that is the inbound and outbound rule. You can see previously a lot of rules are there, right? Now it's kept to only important rules. Okay, because it's happened because of the hardening. Okay, hardening which keeps our server more secure. Okay, so anyway the vault is installed, but I cannot able to log in into the vault. In order to log in with the vault, as I told, right, we have to install the another component that is nothing but like a PrivateArk administrator interface. It is also called as a PrivateArk client. Okay, let's copy that PrivateArk client. So this is the client folder. So go inside this folder.
So
You
we
can
should
see
not
this.
directly log into Vault. We have to log in
No, we
from
cannot
PrivateArk.
log. Yeah, we cannot log
Oh.
in. So we have to use the client interface.
Mhm.
So I'm installing this one. So click on next. Accept the license terms. Give the name and company name. Click on next. This is the destination folder where your client related files are sitting. Okay. Click on next. Select the typical option. Click on next. Next. Click on OK. So it's asking for this server name. You can give any name. Okay. I'm giving the primary one. So wherever vault is installed, you have to provide that IP address. And the default username, as I told, right, we are going to perform all the tasks using the vault administrator. So you have to give the administrator. So click on OK. Click on OK. So restart the server. Okay, once you go to the control panel, you can see the two set of files are installed. One is the vault and another one is the client. Okay, this is the CyberArk digital vault and this is the client interface. Okay, you can see the versions also. This is the vault. Okay, as I told, right, this is the icon for the PrivateArk interface. Okay, by using this interface only, we can log into the vault. So double click on it. So you can see this is the vault interface. Just double click on it. It's asking for the vault administrator password. You can provide the password. These are the saves. Okay. When you install the vault, three default saves will be created. One is the system save, notification engine, and the vault internal save. Okay. So when you go to the system save, how to log in into the save? Just double click on it. Okay. So all the files will be stored inside the folder called root. Okay. dbparent.infl. It is the main configuration of the vault. It contains all the general parameters. Like if you want to make any changes and if you want to perform any integration with any third-party tool, generally we will do the changes on this dbparent.infl. So just right click on it, retrieve and open. You can see all the data. Okay, it contains all the keys. Okay, and also like timings, files. Okay, and some general parameters. This is the main configuration file of the vault. If you do any changes on this file, you have to restore the vault services. That is the PrivateArk server. Okay. So currently the file is not closed because it's showing some red color. Okay. So in order to close this file permanently, you have to click on the return. Okay. And this is the ITL log file. ITL log file is nothing but like whatever the activities that you perform on the vault, it will capture each and every event and it will show the logs here. Okay. You can see ITL logs, you can refer from here as well. And also you can refer from this console also. This is also ITL logs. Okay. ITA logs will stands for vault logs. Will starting with ITA. You can refer from the console or otherwise you can refer from in this file also. So just a return on it. License.xml file. At the time of vault installation, we have given this license.xml file. Okay. So open this one. Okay. This is the license key that they have provided, vendor is provided, and this license is valid for year ending. Okay. After year ending, it won't work. Okay. And also like how many users we can log in into the vault means like they have provided currently 50 users. Okay. We can allow the end users to connect to the target servers 50 users. Okay. And also like you can see they have provided the license to install the PVW, CPM, PSF components. Okay. It contains all the license data.
Okay, so license is different for all the components, or I thought.
No. For once you install the vault, you will get the authorizations to install the remaining components, because
Okay.
in one license they have included each and every component. Okay. Paragen.log file, it's nothing but like generally it is related to the vault monitoring, CPU, memory, disk utilization, and whether the services are running. It contains all the data. Okay. Passparan.infl, it's nothing but like as I told, that once you install the vault, some built-in users will be created in the background. Okay. If you want to reset the password of any built-in user, generally you should know what is the password complexity that was defined. Okay. Maybe that password should be at least 15 characters. It contains upper cases, lower cases, numeric characters. Okay. Based on this password complexity only, you can reset the password of any built-in users. Okay. These are the password complexity. At least you should have one uppercase, numeric characters. Minimum length should contain 6 characters, like that. Okay. tsparam.infl is nothing but like where your safes are created. Okay. This is the path. You can see the 3 safes in this location also. When you go to the C PrivateArk safes, you can see the 3 default safes. This is about the system safe. So when you go up, currently the safe is open, just right click on it and click on close. It will close the safe. Okay. Vault internally is nothing but like when you perform the Active Directory integration with the CyberArk, so that related file should be storing here. Currently I have not done any integration, so that's is showing an empty data. Notification engine, it's nothing but like it contains all the rules and data, how to send the notifications to the end user, what are the template that we have to follow. Like it contains all the data here. These are the 3 safes that are created automatically. And also like if you want to see the built-in users, go to the tools, administrator tools, users and groups. Okay. These are the built-in user. Administrator, what administrator? Currently I have logged with this user only. Every user will have the permissions. Okay. You can see this, he is the vault user, he is the administrator user. So that's why he is having all the permissions. Okay. Auditor user, as I told, right, where he can view the live sessions, monitor the live sessions. Okay. Yeah, when you see a single person, he is a user. When you see the multiple user, then it is a group. Okay, every auditor user is a part of the auditors group. And also like another user called built-in user called batch-in user. Batch-in user is nothing but like he's responsible for removing the expired users, expired safe history, etc. Master user, as I told, right, this user we will use in the DR scenarios. Okay. And if something happens to the administrator user, then we can log in into the this PrivateArk client using this master user. Notification engine is responsible sending the notifications to the end users. Okay. Every notification engine is a part of the notification engines group. Okay. And also like some system users also will be created. When you expand this one, you can see the backup user. Okay. When you install, when you onboard any data in the CyberArk or digital vault, they have to take the backup also. Okay. DR generally it is used in a disaster recovery scenarios. Whenever the vault shut down, at that time we will create the second vault using this DR vault. Operator user, by using this operator user, we will create the third vault. Okay. This is the one of the group that was created by default. Vault admins. Vault admins is nothing but like if any user is a part of this vault admins group, by default he will get the complete authorizations. where he can perform all the read, update, deletion, edition operations. Okay. So currently our vault administrator is a part of this group. Okay. This is the built-in users and saves. If you want to log off, click on log off here. And also
So
like
why should we close and log off?
if you do not shut down, like your data will be exposed to the outside. Always you have to close the vault. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. When you go to the C drive, program files, PrivateArk, you can see this is it contains all the vault related files. It contains all the PrivateArk administrator client related data. When you go to inside this folder, when you go to the conf folder, you can see the dbparam.ini file. Here also you can make the changes here. Okay, this is the main configuration file of the vault. dbparam.ini.good file. It's nothing but like it's a backup file for a dbparam.ini file. If something happens to dbparam.ini file, we can rename this file as the dbparam.ini file. Okay. In Vault, like every main configuration file, they will provide one sample file. If any parameters are missing in this dbparam.ini file, just refer that parameter from the sample file and you can copy that parameter to your main configuration file. License, as I shown to you, right? This license.xml is nothing but like our Vault license. Paradent.log file I have already shown, right? This is the main configuration file. Passparam contains all the password complexity data. tsparam.infl where your saves are contains. Okay, this is the location. Database, it contains all the MySQL database related files. Okay. Event notification, it contains all the event notification related files. Hardening generally it
So
contains.
even notification is what notification will be sent, you said?
Basically, when you perform integration with the vault, okay, suppose let us say if any suspicious activities happens on the CyberArk digital vault, you want to inform to any users, okay, maybe our PAM team, they will receive the notifications using this emails only, okay. At that
Okay.
time, this ENE will place a critical role. Hardening contains all the hardening related files data. LDAP generally we have not performed any integration, so it will show the empty data. Okay. Logic container, it is responsible to maintain the policies of PVW, CPM, PSM. Logs, when you install the vault, if you face any errors, at the time you can refer this log file. Okay, one of the log file is the vault configuration.log file. So currently our vault installation is successful, so that's why you are not able to see any errors. Okay, and also like this is the remote control log, ITA log file. Okay, what is the main log file of the vault means ITA log file. Okay.
Right.
And also like MySQL related logs, okay, remote control logs, and also like this is the trace.devo files. Syslog is nothing but like generally if you want to receive any alerts from the CyberArk digital vault, okay, from the third party tool, generally you can integrate your vault server with the third party tools like Splunk, QRadar, Sentinel, okay. When you integrate automatically with any third party tool, if any suspicious activity happens, like if any unknown user is trying to log in into the vault, at the time you will receive the alerts from the third party tool, okay. For that, like we have to do this syslog integration. These are the one of the some sample DLL files and also like supporting files. Okay, you cannot able to read the data. Okay, it is not in the readable format because these are all in the encrypted format.
Okay.
Yeah, when you go to the client folder, generally client folder did not contains any data. This is contains just some icons, etc. Okay, reports. So this is about the vault installation. Okay. So do you have any queries?
So you said ITA log, right?
Yes.
So log as in whatever activity we do on.
Yes. Yeah.
So everything will be stored as log.
Log. Whenever every log will have some code, right? So here the code representing that specific log ID. Okay. ITA means vault log. Okay. If any log is starting with ITA, then you can consider it as the ITA, and every log will have some code. Okay, you can see it is a 518, 399, 114 like that. Okay, these are the
Okay.
logs.
So it will store from the beginning, or how is it daily on a daily?
Yeah, it will store from the beginning only. Yeah. If I do anything now, like it will capture that event ID and it will reflect the logs also. You can refer
Okay.
the logs to the console. Every log will have a retention period. Okay, so maybe it's a 3 months or 6 months. So after that, the old logs will be deleted and it will be replaced with the new logs.
Okay.
Otherwise, the disk space will consume more space, right? Yeah. This is about the vault. Okay.